I'd like to lead off today's video by asking my audience a very simple question. How many of you remember Sesame Street? Bert and Ernie, Grover, Oscar the Grouch, Snuffleupagus, Big Bird. Who remembers the little game they would play where they would show 4 pictures on a screen and you had to pick out one that was different? I'm sure a lot of you do. Well, what if I told you this very simple exercise can explain what's going on in conservative circles right now? Everybody's scratching their head about the issue with Tucker Carlson. And what if I told you you'd have to go way into the past to figure this out? Now, I know this is probably some images that are going to evoke a lot of emotions with people. These two individuals did not get along. They had their little back and forth about harassment and all this kind of stuff. But it opens a window for those of you who remember this, where Megyn Kelly, her maiden name was Megan Kendall, and all these other Fox News hot bodies that they hired that were so happy for so long, picking up these huge checks, all of a sudden got their collective noses all bent out of joint all at the same time and started laying lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit against all of these male figures at Fox News, these older guys. And they had to pay out huge amounts of money. $32 million, I believe, was Bill O'Reilly's number. Well, what if I told you we could play the Sesame Street game and figure out exactly why Tucker Carlson, who got dismissed very recently, was singled out? Why Suzanne Scott and Maria Bartiromo and Judge Jeanine, who were all kind of guilty of the same thing that he was, they're perfectly safe and fine. You see, one of these things is doing its own thing. One of these things is not the same. And it's something that's been alleged for a long time, even by women at Fox News. And they tried to complain about it, and the one girl that did actually got taken into an office, and then she all of a sudden got her mind changed, and she decided to sue and took her big paycheck and left. This is about, very clearly, removing straight, white, Christian men from the public discourse. Find any and every opportunity you can. This is their mission. Behind the scenes, getting rid of men. The only saving grace for a quote-unquote man is if he's a homosexual these days. That is it. If you are, even if you're not Christian, if you're straight and white, it's over. European, they are removing you from the public discourse. Now, if you think I'm making this up, if I'm overstating it, wait until you hear the words. Wait until you hear the words and you look at the evidence. It is undeniable. Now, real quick, just always want to be diligent. Say thank you to everyone who joins us here at Florida Monkey Patreon channel. Channel's not for everybody. It is a very different way of looking at things. The vast majority of the other channels out there and other forces out there want to kind of get you into an emotional state. They want to get you upset. They want to get you showing back up because you feel a certain thing. That's not what the goal of this channel is. The goal of this channel is to keep you thinking and looking at evidence and looking at it coldly without any dog in the fight and saying, is this really the case, or is somebody trying to manipulate my emotions? But for those of you who joined us over Patreon, we're about 48 hours away from another video that's really going to take this idea by the horns and just lay it out there. And I've said it before, ladies, be careful what you wish for. Be very careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Now, what does this have to do? Megyn Kelly, Bill O'Reilly. Who are these other people? I recognize Tucker Carlson, but that's Judge Jeanine. But who are these others? This is Suzanne Scott, upper left. She's the CEO of Fox News. This is Maria Bartiromo. She's on Fox Business. This is, of course, Judge Jeanine. She's on a little bit later at night. And this is, of course, Tucker Carlson. Now, I'm sure a lot of you remember or have heard recently that out of nowhere, they canned Tucker Carlson. Now, the show itself is going to go on with rotating guests until they redo their schedule over there or whatever. But Megyn Kelly, of all people, actually figured it out. And she didn't realize she did it. She didn't realize she did it. She said this, she was talking on her podcast, and she said, this makes no sense to me. This is a horrible move for Fox. Talking of her viewers, she said, the only reason my audience watches Fox is because of Tucker Carlson. I can't believe they did this. Now, here's the moment. Here's the moment, and I'll give you this link. It's at 3 minutes and 14 seconds. She gets it. She's having this moment where she's having this train of consciousness run through her head as she's talking about this. And she's trying to figure it out, and the words literally fall out of her mouth. And she has this moment where she gets it. Oh, that's why they fired him and not these other people. Listen to this.
This is a reaction to the Dominion lawsuit. Why is Maria Bartiromo there? Why is Jeanine Pirro still there? Why is Suzanne Scott still there? The CEO of Fox News. She got them in far more trouble with her executive emails panicking about Dominion and the audience than anything Tucker did behind the scenes. I realize the left hates Tucker's guts. I get that this is a joyful day for them. But internally at Fox, they always had that gauge, at least under Roger Ailes, of how to ignore those critics and do what was right for the channel and its audience.
See, she just got it. She just got it because she's got all the receipts. She's like, why did this female get passed over? Why did this other female get ignored? Why did this other female get ignored? Why does the left hate his guts? It's very simple why. It's very simple why. Sorry about that. He's a white, Christian, cisgendered male. And they want them removed. Those people behind the scenes want them removed for, they don't even need any reason. Honest to God, they want no white Christian males anywhere to have any voice about anything in the public discourse. They see them, the left, they see them as the enemy, and they've tolerated them. Now, Bill O'Reilly talking about this over on News Nation. Okay? Who's doing this? You're saying, when you say they, I'm like, okay, who are you talking about? CEO of Fox News? Who's above that? You see, it's all those working behind the scenes. A lot of you have talked about the deep state, so to speak, and those, that work in these positions. Bill O'Reilly here actually reveals some of this, of what actually happened and why they had to let Tucker Carlson go.
And one that may be filed. And that was the key. So one of Tucker Carlson's producers apparently taped a whole bunch of stuff. Her lawyer went into the Fox attorneys and said, unless you pay so-and-so some money, we're going to sue you. And Fox said, we're not paying. So they filed suit in New York City. And they had the tapes, and those tapes may be released to the public. All right? And they're not good tapes for the Carlson program.
Now, word has it that apparently Tucker Carlson referred to some female higher up at Fox News using the C word. So, there's that. Now, privately, whatever you say should be not something that you can lose your job for. However, this is what's going on. Now, here's the blow your mind part. Ready? Who remembers Andrea Tantaros, another one of those hot bodies, right? That all of a sudden there's Lori Dew and there's Juliette Huddy. And there's a list went on and on and on. Sandra Smith is still there, but bikini model. Ainsley Earhart, all these women, right? Well, guess what she said? This is way back in September of 15. Fox's Tantaros accuses college Healthy Masculinities Week of trying to demasculinize men. Andrea Tantaros. The liberal left is trying to turn men into thumb-sucking little beta males in skinny jeans. Dagan McDowell is interviewing her here. Why does Vanderbilt see the need to have this masculinity week, Andrea Tantaros? Because they're trying to demasculinize men. I mean, this is themed beyond just Vanderbilt University. I mean, they're trying, and by they, I mean the academics and the liberal left, is trying to turn men into thumb-sucking little beta males in skinny jeans. All you have to do is look at what they're trying to teach these guys. Why don't they just ask them to check their cojones at the door when they walk in? That's basically it. Mentioning something about Magic Mike here. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about her liking Magic Mike. I think that's a stripper, male stripper movie or something like that. I do, but I'm a woman. And so now they're just feminizing all these men coast to coast. It's a problem. Oh, so she's talking about men that like to go watch other men take their clothes off. It's ridiculous. Tantaros, what the heck does the Women's Center know about men? This is the point. You should not have women lecturing men and celebrating women. I get that. Now listen, stop there. This is a larger theme. And then women wonder where all the masculine strong men are at. You see, after she said that was when she got taken into a corner and said, look, here's our game. You can either be part of it or you can be gotten rid of. And so she played ball. She sued Roger Ailes. She got her money. And since about 16, 17, she's disappeared from social media. I mean, you can't find anything from Andrea Tantaros. She just walked away from it. She just took her golden parachute. This is how you put together the receipts. Megyn, I know a lot of people don't like Megyn Kelly because they worship Donald Trump and anything he says is God's word. But she has 2 young boys, and she pulled them out of New York schools because every day her boys were getting asked if they were sure that they were boys. It was constant harassment. And so she's like, enough is enough. So she's, believe it or not, actually opinion-wise and culture-wise moving toward Bill O'Reilly. Moving far to the right. But it just took her having to have her personal moment with this. And understand this. This is what's happening in liberal America, in blue state America. People say, Florida Maki, why do you always blah, blah, blah about Florida? Because we're not blue state America. Because down here, men can actually be men, even to the annoyance sometimes of women. It's okay to still be a man in Florida. And not their version of what a man is. Women down in Florida don't decide what a good man is. Men do. And you can either take it or you can leave it. It is what it is. This is why Tucker Carlson is gone. And there will not be, if they try to replace Tucker Carlson, let's see, 13 minutes and 30 seconds, and let's see who's still listening. I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to call this right now. If they replace him, they're going to replace him with some Dave Rubin-like clone or Dave Rubin himself. Conservative, but progressive and compassionate and woke-ish, and this is what they're going to do. They're going to find somebody from that group of people, these pretend conservatives, like Dave Rubin is, and they're going to start to give them a voice, and they'll have them talk about anything but social issues, because they already know they're on the right side of it in their personal lives. This is what's coming. You mark my words. Look who they got rid of all the people they could have gotten rid of over at CNN. Don Lemon and Brian Stelter. Now, I know Lemon is black and he's gay, but for them, that's how much far to the left they are. They don't want any men at all. This is what's happening. So, this is simple to see. Men can see this. Men see this every day. You can't even be yourself in public anymore almost, other than in Florida. And even then sometimes you got to kind of watch a little bit because it's become so ingrained in the culture. So I will leave it there. But that's my take on it, and I've got the receipts. So join us over at Patreon. Love to have you. Only $1. It's only $1 per month, even less if you sign up for an entire year. Fully refundable first 90 days. Love to have you. Gloves off. God bless. Have a great rest of your week. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.